Alright guys, somebody in the comments section requested this video and I figured it'd be pretty simple to make. Basically showing my collection. Now I've only been into bourbon for about 1 year and this is what I have. Now I would put collection in quotation marks because I've only just been buying stuff that I would really try and drink. Being new to bourbon is one of those things where I just want to try everything from all the brands, all sorts of, just curious about all sorts of different types. Now in the future, would I have like a collection where I just like have a bottle of everything just for the sake of it? Yes, but the place that I'm living now, I don't plan on being here forever, and I don't want to build out all these shelves and stuff like that. So right now I have what is just for me personally. And when the bottle gets a little too low and I feel like it might start changing flavor, I just give it away to a buddy of mine. So here we go. We got Woodford Double Oak, a store pick. Now, definitely recommend anybody getting store picks of this stuff. The regular Woodford Double Oak is okay, but this is like head and shoulders better, and it's definitely worth the $20 extra. Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel, you can see there's still a lot of it in there. It was okay. I think it's pretty good, but I don't really buy into the hype, or I guess it was hard to find, so people really really hunted for it. But I had to get it, see what the hype was all about, and it's pretty decent. But my Pride and Joy Stag Junior Good Spirits pick, really lucky, was at the right place at the right time. Got one of these for 200 bucks. Some people in the comment section would be like, oh, you got ripped off, blah, blah, blah. But it's a $60 bottle. However, I can't find it for 60 bucks, unfortunately. So the classic Heaven Hill 7-year bottle of mine. This Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye, pretty good, although I've tried other bottles and I think this one that I have is not the best. There's definitely other barrels that are way better than mine, unfortunately. I think, here we go, Hancock Reserve, Liquor Barn pick. This is basically the poor man's, what do you call, Blanton's, but it's decent, Woodford Reserve. Found this at Costco for like 100 bucks. Couldn't pass it up. Just would I hunt for this, or try to buy it online? No, not really. It just tastes like the regular Woodford, but obviously with a higher ABV, which is decent. But I think the regular Woodford is more like a cocktail type of mixer anyway. This used to be my favorite, and by used to I mean is an incredible value if you could have found this for $200. Obviously this is a single barrel. Some barrels are better than others. This one I didn't like as much as my first one. They really got me hooked with the first one because the first one, 13 years old, cask strength at like 130 proof, single barrel. It's just, like rich, dark oak, amazing. Oh my God, it's so good. But I mean, it would. I honestly think like blind, it could probably beat some George T. Staggs. However, this bottle in particular is a bit on the very bitter oaky side, so I was just slightly disappointed with it. But if I ever see it again for like 200 bucks, probably should get another one. Here we go, Redwood Empire. Cask strength is pretty good. Let me know, guys. I think, to me, this is a very smooth, sweet rye. That's very reminiscent. I know it's made in California, but it reminds me of MGP rye when done right, like old Ezra 7 rye. That's what it tastes like to me. I never had both of these bottles together, so I never would good A/B test them, but just going off memory. One of my actually the absolute favorite Four Roses I've tried yet, OESO. I traded this one for another private selection. Man, this is my favorite. Amazing. The other ones are pretty decent too, but I think to me this has the most unique type of taste. Four Roses Party Town pick, pretty decent. Old Ezra, the regular Old Ezra, not the rye, but just the regular stuff. I would not buy this. It's just, in my humble opinion, for $80 is not worth it. Here we go. Elijah Craig. I think I found this private selection in West Virginia. Pretty decent, but not as refined as the latest, the 13-year, 7 months C923. Here's one that I got excited about. I thought it was a major collectible, but not really, not yet. I have to wait a little bit before. I thought I'd just buy it at Costco because I saw it and I thought I'd just like flip it for like an Eagle Rare or some kind of. I never wanted to collect these. Just I thought like somebody would trade me something for it, but I was wrong. Not at this point. Moving on, I have Knob Creek 12. I think I got ripped off and I might have paid over $100 for it in California when I first saw it, but I had to have it. This is actually a different bottle, I think. Although I do remember West Virginia seeing them for $47 and felt like such a sucker. I have an unopened one here of a Grand Poobah 120 proof. These are everywhere in Kentucky, or I'm sure everywhere in the United States. Just different store picks, and I think these are fun to collect. This is a horrible mistake. Don't ever buy this, although I never poured it out and threw it away just because if I'm doing like a show and tell with bourbon, I want to pour somebody this 2-year-old stuff. This is a 2-year-old single barrel stuff that I paid like over $60 or $70 for. This is like one of my first bottles that I bought, and I didn't know what I was doing, but it tastes so young, and if I'm doing a show and tell, I can tell people like what to look for in a bad bourbon, or how bourbon tastes when it's really young and crappy. Chattanooga, I got a little one, 375 milliliter. Check out this cool mash bill. Oh, is it here? Oh, here we go, yeah. I really appreciate any kind of distilleries that are trying new stuff, like very unique tasting. Got here the original Woodford Reserve that I bought a year ago, my very first one. A Blanton's that I found, but I'll probably trade away as a gift or something. Back there's a Henry Kenna 10-year, pretty decent, although not my favorite, and just a run-of-the-mill typical larceny. Here's another one, another Knob Creek that I started drinking. This one's from the Poorhouse. I love these Russells. These are definitely my favorite, especially the store picks. This was a Kroger pick and probably one of the best ones I've tasted yet. Another Knob Creek. This is a Trader Joe's pick. I'm surprised I don't see that many videos of people comparing different like Knob Creek ryes. Well, I don't know why this is. I think this should be more popular than it is, or these bottles in general. Here we have a Four Roses, a OESV, a pick from the Incline Public House just down the street, the restaurant. Sazerac Rye back there, regular. The very first Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. Didn't like it at first. Had it like a black licorice taste to me in the beginning, but now this bottle's been opened and aired out a bit. Now ever since I wasn't a big fan of Evan Williams, but ever since I tasted the master, the master mixer collection or something like that, that's the distillery exclusive, and the single barrels, I've been turning slowly into a fan, especially for the price point. They're great. This is my one and only official Dusty. I got this at the Revival Bourbon Shop. I got invited to a dinner party where they're going to taste like high-end, like vintage bourbons or just expensive stuff, so I had to bring something. I paid a lot of money for this. It was like $400. This is from 1981, but barreled in the 70s, so really good tasting. And it's always like interesting to sit around and think about how bourbon tasted back in the day. Obviously the wood was different, the ingredients were different, but they all kind of taste, they all have all these like vintage bourbons, they all have like a similar taste to the point where like when I bought it, I thought before a lot of the alcohol just evaporated, so that made them taste like softer and smoother, but when I bought this bottle, the fill was up to here, so didn't seem like a lot of alcohol evaporated out of it. But also too, yeah, I don't know. It's like it would be like I don't want to rehash a big debate, but it's pretty interesting how like a lot of these old school dusty bourbons, they all taste really good, but they all taste much similar, as opposed to a lot of the new bourbons that they have a lot more variety of taste. Maker's Mark 76 cask strength. Got a, oh, what's that back there? Oh yeah, good old Wild Turkey 101. Green River. Pretty, it's to me it's a little too light. I want to try the, I do want to try their like single barrel cask strength version, that's for sure. And then we have a Bullet 10-year here that I kind of regret buying. I shouldn't have bought it. It doesn't taste like anything special in my humble opinion. Old Forester 1920. It said that this is the old best out of their whole lineup. I watch so many videos on YouTube that like if you're a newbie, this is like definitely a must-have bottle. I agree, it's pretty good. Maker's Mark 101. Rabbit Hole. I tasted this at a dive bar and I really liked it, so I had to get the whole bottle. This used to be my favorite back in the day. However, somehow I don't really go to it anymore that much, but it's the single barrel proof Jack Daniels. It's, in my opinion, if you're a beginner, but then you're starting to, like your palate's starting to evolve to actually like higher proof stuff, that's, I mean, for $60, you can't get any better than that. Here's a barrel proof A122. This is a backup bottle. I drank the original. It's pretty decent. A buddy of mine here sent me a bunch of different Elijah Craig releases from like different shops. That was great just to taste the differences. As far as it's a fun experiment to see that like how much the barrel and the warehouse location changes the flavor, even though the ingredients are the same. And your obligatory Buffalo Trace mash bill number 1. Here we go. Here are the different type of barrel proof larcenies. C921, A123, B523. I think the B523 is the coveted one, and this one's probably the super hot one, and this other one's probably just just all right. Early times. This one's unopened. I've tried at the bar. Bars is pretty decent. So many people are big fans of it because of the taste of the price point, as always. Eagle Rare 10. Huge fan. This is probably like my 10th bottle. Bardstown. Here we go. Fusion series. As you can see, there's still plenty of it left. For some reason, I just have it around, but never went back to it ever since I tried it that one time. This is one of my biggest enemies right here. This Liquor Barn pick was really good. However, it's like sometimes I can't just get to drinking the whole thing, and then it just sits there with so much air that it starts to change. So at this point, I would just give it away to a friend or something, yeah, give it away to a buddy, because I don't want to because if it starts to change already, I know you can still probably put it in a cocktail and still use it or whatever, but I just don't want to drink it anymore. I don't know why I'm such a snob. And this bottle is the victim of the same thing. Yeah, that's the only major problem that I have. New Riff, just a regular single barrel. Unfortunately, now I know better. I would get a store pick or somebody's pick, but this is just run-of-the-mill single barrel, and so it's okay. Malted Rye 6-year. I bought a few. I was gonna give this to somebody as a gift, but I was never able to link up with them, so I just have a few of these bottles laying around. Stella, not a big fan, I don't know. Never, I know a lot of people are diehard Stellan fans, but for some reason I just never got into it. Toasted Oak. This is actually 13-year rum. I think aged 12 years and then aged 1 more year in a bourbon barrel. It's pretty interesting. We got an unopened bottle here of Michter's. And the Isaac Bowman. I guess this is the same distillate as Blanton's. However, do not buy the port barrel finish. I didn't like it. I don't know anybody that likes it, so that's a mistake. So here's some other few random bottles I have. Maker's Mark. For a while, I wasn't able to find a lot of the Wellers, and I really like the Antique 107. So I was trying to like find like a good substitute with Maker's Mark. However, I feel like Maker's Mark is a bit sweeter than Weller, so even though it's a wheated bourbon, it's not quite it, in my opinion. Not quite a replacement. Here we go, a backup bottle, C923, the Rockstar everybody loves. We got a backup bottle of Eagle Rare here. This is one of the latest bottles I bought, Peerless Double Oaked Rye. Now I gotta warn people, I mean, I think it's pretty decent. However, it's probably not for a beginner palate. If you like sweet stuff, this is not very sweet. This is very like dark chocolatey. If you like the sweet stuff, I guess you just stick to the Woodford Double Oak. Made a mistake here with Apprentice batch. Although it's not as awful as people say. It's got all these, like the same type of Booker notes and the same type of mouthfeel and everything. I mean, very similar. However, there's a few odd notes in there that don't make it super enjoyable, but still drank a good amount of it. On the other hand, here's the Lumberyard batch. There's just a tiny little bit left. I didn't like it at first. It did have like a weird, funky Sharpie note to it, but as I let it sit for a few months, it actually like really turned itself around and opened up. A little mini Eagle Rare here. The Rockstar B523. That's the backup bottle. And Wild Turkey, this one. I've actually had to trade some people on a Facebook group to get this. Basically, the trade was a big Weller, the 1.7 liter, like a regular size, a Weller Green, a big Weller Green, regular size Weller Green, and $50. So that's how I got that. All right, guys, that's my collection.